culprit. Ed, I found out when my DRLs aren't working. Look at that next to that left pin.
Crowed it all off of there?
That'll do it. Well, that's an easy fix. What's up? I am at Leeman Upfit in Salem, Ohio. We were hanging out with our friends Ed and Sarah at Toledo Jeep Fest. After Jeep Fest, we came here to hang out with them for a couple days. Ed was gracious enough to give me a spot in his shop because both Sully and Ren have a couple issues to sort out. On Sully, nothing major, absolutely nothing major, just mostly annoying. But on Sully, my DRLs on the passenger side, they weren't working. All the lights work, every light in here. This is brand new lights. These are the new Diode Dynamic Elite Max headlights. I got these because I want to do away with these, and these have blinkers built into them, so I don't have to run these. But my DRL isn't working on this side, which is annoying. And turns out it's just a pin. A pin was bent. That's what I was hoping, or maybe a little bit of corrosion, but a pin is bent, so that's an easy fix. And then we're gonna try. I bent my rear sway bar. Showed that in one of the videos when we were in Montana. And we're gonna try to bend it back with force. What could go wrong? And then on Kara's Jeep, she accidentally ran into a picnic table and broke her connector on her sway bar motor. Thought it was the motor because the pins ripped off the motor. Put a new motor in, still not working, so it's in the wiring connector there. So we're gonna get that done as well. But while we're here, since Ed does this all the time, he specializes in Jeeps. I made a similar video on this in the past, but I'm just a YouTuber. Been doing this for years, been working on my own Jeeps for years. What do I know? I brought in the expert. So, and he's seen a lot. So we're gonna talk about the top mistakes that people make when building a Jeep. And this isn't meant to bash people, this is meant to help people, because so many people don't know. I was included. When I first got my first Jeep, I didn't know. I learned my lessons the hard way. And so we're gonna help you learn the lessons before you have to make them, and build your Jeep right so it drives well, performs well, does all the things that it should do, even better than factory. So that's the plan. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but that second pin from the left is just bent down. I probably forced something and bent it out of whack. But yeah, easy fix, I hope. Knowing my luck, I'll break the pin off. Easy fixed. Now I don't look, whoops, there we go. Now I don't look cockeyed going down the road. Everything looks normal at night, but in the daytime, it looked cockeyed. Now it's better, yay. All right, Ed, you do this all the time. You've installed a lot of lifts. What's your number one thing that people make a mistake on when modifying their Jeeps?
Shopping lifts on price, so then they get an incomplete lift because it's the best deal out there. So they get shocks and springs and pretty much nothing else. They don't get any control arms or track bars. You need a track bar that's longer so you can adjust it to center your axle in the vehicle, or at least a track bar bracket if you want to be cheap, so you can at least raise the track bar so you don't get bumps there that you're going to get with your drag link in your tie rod, or your drag link in your track bar being at different angles. Whenever they're at different angles, when you go over a hill, they're going to steer themselves. And losing caster, when you get to do a lift, you lose caster. Your upper and lower ball joint geometry is your caster. So as it comes up, you lose your caster. You need theoretically a shorter upper control arm or a longer lower control arm to get your caster back. Caster is what keeps you in a straight line going down the road. Keeps it from wandering all over the place, following road crown.
How many times do people come in, just buy the cheapest lift? And this is an example.
It is.
This customer knew you warned her.
Yeah,
you warned her.
To stick in their budget, they needed a lift that was cheap. A $650 lift is what they needed. So this is a $650 lift that comes with mid-grade shocks from that manufacturer, which I'm not going to say is a mid-grade shock, but from that manufacturer, a mid-grade shock, 4 springs, and 4 sway bar end links, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing for the track bars, nothing.
As it sits, her caster is off.
It's way off.
Her axles are not centered.
They're not. You're gonna have more.
This thing's gonna wander down the highway.
I tell them it'll ride like poop and it'll handle like poop, but you can fit a bigger tire. Like that's really what it comes out to. There's more tire poke driver's side than passenger side because I need a longer track bar to push that axle over. So a lot of times, this is only 2.5 inches. I see guys with 3.5, 4.5, and no track bar. And this tire's sticking out here 1.5 inches more than it is over there. So it happens.
And how many times do customers come back in about a month or so and go, why am I wandering all over the road? Fix this.
They do. Good customers will come back and say, you were right, I need a quality lift. I never should have bought that cheap lift. Buy once, cry once, get a good lift. Other times there's people come back and they just want to fit a bigger tire and they don't care that it rides like poop. And that's when you hear your normal ad drives like a Jeep. I don't off-road very much. Just because you don't off-road very much doesn't mean you don't drive down the street.
No, I think on-pavement performance is more critical than off-road performance.
For sure. Yeah,
because this owner will never know her caster's off-road.
No, never.
But driving down the highway, she's going to know.
She'll know, 100%. No, it'll wander. It's just when on a cheap lift, this is kind of what you get when you're shopping on a money-only tolerance for lifts. I want the cheapest lift I can buy. You're going to get an incomplete lift.
And that's one of the things I love about Ed. Because when a customer comes in, to do something to their vehicle, if they're making a mistake or if he knows the pitfalls and the possible hazards of that modification, he's gonna warn them and tell them, heads up, this isn't gonna drive well. Let them make the decision, oh, that's fine. I don't need it to drive well. I just need it to fit bigger tires and look better. So, yeah. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. My very first Jeep, my very first lift was exactly that. Springs and shocks and sway bar end links. Then I'm like, why is my Jeep wandering all over the road? Then I bought lower control arms and drove amazing after that. I could not believe it. So that's number one. The fun part about having a bent sway bar is you have to jack it up to get the bolt out. Because it's got so much pressure on it, you can't get it out. Bingo. I mean, you can see from this angle how much lower that passenger side is from the driver's side, and they're supposed to be even. But this was on me, this isn't a steer smarts issue. I took it off road knowing that the bracket was messed up and it popped out and it just kept banging and banging and banging and bit ever so slightly, but enough that it drives me crazy that my Jeep doesn't sit level anymore. We're gonna attempt to bend it back with a floor jack, and if that doesn't work, we'll get out the forklift. Nope. Don't try this at home, kids. This may not be the smartest thing we're doing. The problem is keeping everything on once that sway bar starts kind of going vertical like that. Everything wants to just slip right off. Maybe enough times up and down, up and down, up and down, we can. I mean, it kind of looks a little bit better now. Maybe just leave it there for a minute. Let it sit. All right, while the sway bar's thinking about what it's done and its choices, let's talk about number two.
Number two, not re-gearing with larger than stock tires.
Not re-gearing for larger tires.
Well, there's all kinds of things.
Because everybody thinks, oh, well, 7th gear is the same gear ratio. I'm running the same RPMs in 7th gear as I am in 8th gear, so why does it matter? Or 6th gear. But they're not thinking about Well, how much power loss do you have in first gear?
100%, yeah.
And how much extra strain is that on the engine and transmission in first gear?
For sure. Temperatures, transmission temperatures are through the roof on guys who don't re-gear. The fuel economy that you're giving up because your final drive is different. Everything. In re-gears, it's not incredibly expensive, $2,500 to $3,000. So, but yeah, people do it all the time. You get 37s on a Gladiator with a 3.6, and it never sees 7th gear. It'll see 6th gear at 75 miles an hour. See that a lot.
Or you have people in Florida that think their life experience is the same as everybody else's.
They don't have any hills.
They're like, oh, I'm
nothing.
on 37s and 410 gears, and I see 8th gear all the time.
For sure, yeah.
Because you're in Florida.
And you get up here, you got some hills. Heck, I mean, you head out west, you go through Colorado. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's just not good on any components. The transmission, I see temperatures all the time. I watch them on a scanner as we're driving them, and they get way warmer than you do if you're running that RPM down on an 8th gear versus 5th gear.
So it's not just about your RPMs.
It's about everything that
It's about
heating up.
everything in the drivetrain.
It was intended to run down the highway in 8th gear. That's where it needs to run down the highway. That's how it was designed.
I mean, we see this debate all the time on social media.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go larger tires, especially 37s or bigger.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unless you're doing 35s and 373 gears.
You get a sport in 35.
You get a sport with, yeah. But just do it right in re-gear.
100%. Spend the money. Get your Jeep working how it was intended to work.
Your Jeep will be much happier.
It will be. So will you in the end.
This is going to be really impressive if the bracket on the axle doesn't snap.
Yeah.
Well, as expected, that didn't work because it's designed to twist. I think when I had it off-road, the bracket had come off and it was banging around, so I think it's probably bent somewhere in this section, maybe bent down a little bit. That's my only theory, but hopefully I can pick another one up at Jeep Invasion, or maybe before Jeep Invasion. I don't like the fact that Sully doesn't sit level. It rides fine, but it just doesn't sit level. And that's annoying when it's on display. All right, well, the good news is it did improve. I had to lift that side of the sway bar much less than I did before. And when reconnected, it pulled the passenger's corner down much less than before. So it is better. So it's still slightly leaning, but not like it was. I can live with that. Well, we lifted it up. We're gonna rotate the tires, but decided to go ahead and lift it all the way up and do some inspection. And I'm glad we did because this bracket is cracked. That's exactly where the other side broke. Luckily, I've got another bracket, so that can go on. But I can't remember if it's here or in the Ross Monster. Notice that my factory exhaust hanger was broken, so they're looking to see if they have one laying around the spare parts bin. Put a new one of those on. My Steer Smarts drag link bracket, the seal is gone. It's missing some bearings, but it still has bearings, so that's good. But this thing has been on there for 4 years. I mean, I've had this Jeep for 5 years now, so yeah, I've been on there for probably 4 years, and lots and lots and lots of miles, lots and lots and lots of water and mud and stuff. So have to source a new Steer Smarts drag link support bracket. But so far, I mean, that's pretty much it. So all in all, I'm pleased. I mean, none of that is anything major. So yay. Not horrible. Okay, well, tires are getting rotated. Number 3. Now this, in my book, this only applies if you're off-roading your Jeep, putting on a winch and recovering, but cheap armor.
For sure.
What have you seen as far as cheap armor?
cheap bumpers.
And we're talking like thin steel.
For sure.
You know, the cheap
I've
stuff
seen
you find
cheap
on Amazon.
bumpers that people-
Chinesium.
Yeah, for sure. Cheap Amazon bumpers that people stick on that are so thin, and they have a winch on them. When they go to winch, that bumper will compress and actually pull their frame rails in. So,
I've never seen that.
so
I've seen
frame.
bumpers start to pull away from the
for
frame.
Sure. They'll actually, it'll pull in it, so they're bolted to the bumpers and nothing in between them. So pulling that frame rails in. Them frame rails stick out this far without any supports. So they'll tee in the front of your frame. So now you need a frame. Because
So-
you saved a couple bucks on a bumper.
Yeah, I actually had a cheap set of, they were Smitty built, rock rails, but they were only attached to the very front and rear body bolts on a 4-door,
Yeah.
and it came down hard on a rock, and they bent so far, they bent in my rocker arm,
Nice.
what is it? Just the rocker below the doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was fun.
Oh yeah, save a couple bucks on a bumper and cost yourself a tons more money in the long
Yeah.
run.
So if you're gonna wheel your Jeep, put a winch on it, actually off-road it, quality steel, good armor.
And a winch that you can trust. You're better off with no winch than a winch you can't trust. Because if you don't have a winch, you'll say, I'm not going down that because I'll get stuck. But if you have a winch, you'll think, I can always get out. So I get in more problems with a winch than without a winch because you can always get yourself out. If you don't have a winch, you don't even go into those types of areas. So a winch you can trust in some quality armor bumpers. That's not a one-hander.
It is if I leave this pushed in, and then I can put it up here
Oh.
and scoot it up here. Right there works.
All the rollers get nice. Burger with everything except for onion. We'll figure out what everything.
Yeah, so that's my spare tire.
Get out of the way, doesn't drag on everything.
It is specifically designed for a 40, which is next. All right, Sully's done. Now to hopefully get the sway bar disconnect working on Ren. That's all we have to do to Ren. All right, we're pretty sure this is the culprit. So we put a new motor on it. Ed was kind enough to send us a new motor because she just ripped this whole thing off when she hit the picnic table. But those wires are pretty smushed in there. So we're gonna put a new pigtail on it and hopefully that fixes it. Seth is awesome. He's not using wire crimps and butt connectors like I would be. He's actually soldering the wires together. All right, so what's next on the list of mistakes people make when building their Jeeps?
Big wheels on oversized tires, like a 22-inch wheel on a 37.
Or 20 on a 35.
I see it's only on 35.
That's
too.
so common.
There's just wrapped on there with a little bit. You can't air it down. It just makes it ride like poop.
That's the biggest thing, is ride quality.
100%. Airing down to get more traction, there's no point doing any of that. But ride quality is just shot. There's no cushion in that tire. They've got, and most of them are always at 40 PSI or something silly too. They're at 40 PSI and a this much sidewall.
And you're already taking something that's not the best riding vehicle
For sure.
on the
Straight
road.
axle.
I mean, with solid front axle, and then you're just making it worse
For sure.
by taking away all the extra cushion from a 35 and a 17 or a 37 and a 17.
For sure.
You get a lot more comfortable ride with that than you do with low profile tires.
I'm a 17-inch wheel on everything.
Same.
But there are people who want to play the half rule. So a 20-inch wheel on a 40-inch tire. But I'm still a 17 on everything. That's me personally.
Even on 42s?
Oh yeah.
Even on 42s, that's right.
42s and 17s.
That's
it.
right.
I wouldn't even do a 20 on my 42s. So Sarah's on 42s, 17s. I got a new set of 42s today. They're going on 17-inch Hutchinsons.
And that's a lot of airing down.
A lot of cushion.
That's a lot of cushion and a
It'll
lot of
be able
airing
to roll
down.
over stuff. I won't even notice it's there. So I'm a 17-inch wheel on everything. Everything here that we keep in stock, tires and wheels, are all 17s. So if somebody wants a special order, or 18 or a 20, I'll do it. But 17s are what we do.
Sounds good. Well, unfortunately, switching out the connector didn't fix it. So going into the computer and see if maybe something in there turned it off when it's shorted, like it's shorted out or something. Well, we are officially stumped. That didn't work. Going into the computer, clear the codes and stuff, also didn't work. It has lost communication with sway bar motor, all because of breaking off the connector when she ran into the picnic table. So something had to have shorted out somewhere else along the line, which is weird. So Ed's gonna take the time and research that, try to figure out what that is. Tomorrow, Kara and I are going to Niagara Falls. We'll film it. Never been there before. Should be fun. But we're gonna leave Kara's Jeep here and take my Jeep and go have some fun there. But anyway, hope this video was helpful. We got several things done. Sully's back in business. Just got to fix this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you would, like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel, all that YouTube love. All the important links are in the description for Patreon if you want to consider supporting the channel. Gain access to special events, special content, all of the GPS data from our trips, and all of our merchandise. Go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Go check out all that discount codes, all that stuff's in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Oh, one more thing. If you're going to Jeep Invasion, we are setting up some meet and greets. I know from 1 to 3 in RCV's booth, where Sully will be found. That's on Friday from 1 to 3 in RCV's booth, and Saturday at 2 o'clock in the Anvil Overland booth. And we may set up another one on Thursday or another one on Saturday. We'll let you know, but for sure those two we've got scheduled. So Friday 1 to 3 RCV booth, Saturday 2 o'clock in the Anvil Overland booth. So come say hi.